Today I'm solving for the two equations x and y through substitution. And so the first equation I have is 2x plus y equals 4. And the second equation I have is y equals x minus 2. And one of the easiest things about this, these two equations for substitution is that this is already where y equals x minus 2. And so we don't have to solve and like get y on one side or x on the other side. So in that case, we can replace this y with x minus 2. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So now we have 3x minus 2. So the next thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to add 2 to both sides to cancel out. So we're going to add 2 here. And that also means that we're going to have to add 2 here. So with that, these cancel each other out. And we end up with 3x equals 6. So we can see that we can distribute those to that. So we can see that x equals 2. And so that's how we solve the equation using substitution, and that's how we get x equals 2. And so now that we know that x equals 2, we're going to just try and solve for y. So we can plug the 2 into the y equals x minus 2 equation. So this equation, y equals x minus 2. We're going to go back to this equation because it's going to be simpler and easier. So we're going to substitute, and for the x, we're going to substitute the 2 since we know what x is. And so that means we have 2 minus 2, which equals 0. So that shows that y equals 0. So the next two equations we're going to look at is negative 3x plus y equals negative 5 and 4x plus y equals 2. And so on the first one we use substitution, but there's another method that we can use in order to solve for x and y, and that is elimination. And so with these two equations, it's probably going to be easier to do it through the elimination method. And so with that, we are going to set up the two equations and multiply them by a different number in order to cancel out one of the variables. So the thing that's going to be easiest, I believe, is we're going to multiply the first equation by a negative 1, which is going to change these 3x negative x's to a positive x. Is going to change this y to a positive y to a negative y. And it's going to change negative 5 to a positive 5. So we have 1. So now we just kind of flip-flopped all the signs in front of the numbers. So we have a 3x minus y plus 5. And so we're going to kind of add these two equations together. So we can cancel these out. And so we can do this, and we're going to add these. So we're going to add 5 to 2, and we're going to get 7 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7x. So that means that 7x equals 7, and we know that when you divide 7 by 7, you're going to get 1. So we're going to end up with x equals 1. So now that we know x equals 1, we're going to solve for y. And so it's easier to look at the second equation of 4x plus y equals 2 to solve for y. So we know that we're going to replace the 4x with 4, just as 4. so we can get rid of this as well. So we have 4 plus y equals 2. And so we always know that we're going to get the variable by itself, we're going to have to get rid of the other numbers. So we're going to have to do what we do to one side to the other. So we're going to subtract 4 from this side. And we're also going to have to subtract 4 from this side. So then these cancel out, and then these cancel out. And so we're left with y equals -2. So we have y equals -2 and x equals 1 for these two equations.